Where is Daniel Robinson?
Saturday night, that question on the hearts and minds of Daniel Robinson's family and friends gathered at the state capitol asking for more to be done since the now 25-year-old geologist vanished in the Buckeye Desert.
My son is just not my son. He's also America's son. Could this happen to a lot of families?
Since then, his father David organizing search parties hoping to find his son. Volunteers showing up week after week, standing strong with the Robinson family.
Daniel could be any one of us, and so we definitely need to bring awareness to the situation. If we don't speak up for him, and help find him, who will?
Daniel and my son went to the same high school. Felt it was my duty as his neighbor to be here to support him and really try to figure out where Daniel is and bring him home safe.
David's search parties found Daniel's Jeep Renegade rolled over in a ravine, airbags deployed, his clothing found inside out, boots and socks, wallet and laptop, no blood, no signs of injury, no signs of Daniel.
God knows how much we can bear, and at times I feel like I can't really take but so much more.
But in his weakest times, David says it's the volunteers that provide him strength.
Everybody know that I call them my extended family. And so this visual is the same thing. We all here have one common goal, and that's to find Daniel and also to bring light what happened to other families.
As the Robinsons' extended family light candles tonight, their collective light shines towards that day when their question is answered and Daniel comes home. Josh Sanders, 12 News.
My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at College of Charleston.
Good job.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
David.
Where's everybody?
9 painful months.
Without these special people behind me, I wouldn't have a search. Hello, everyone. Dave Robinson here, the father of geologist Daniel Cornelius Robinson. Thanks so much for joining me this evening, this Saturday evening, on this live stream. Tonight, I just want to do a little quick Q&A, talk about my son's case. I rarely get an opportunity to do live streams like I used to, running for U.S. Congress. Takes up a lot of time, but I still trying to do everything I can to bring awareness to the missing American crisis that we have in our country. So very important to me, bring awareness to my son's case, keep his case from becoming going into cold status. We have a lot of things that can be done in Daniel's case. I'm still pushing and doing everything I can with law enforcement to actually do those jobs. So that's where we're at when it comes to Daniel's case. But I want to give everyone opportunity, especially to those who probably don't even know anything about my son's case, to ask questions. I know a lot of you probably heard a lot of the details of the case. You may hear some of the same things that you heard before, but I definitely need to get it out to people who haven't heard about Daniel's case, to continue to spread the word and the awareness of Daniel's case. Again, like I said, it's very important to me and my family to keep Daniel's case alive, which is, like I say again, is not as far from a cold case, despite or anytime anyone would think so, because they say, hey, where's the new leads or new things? But like I said, I have to keep pushing law enforcement. You remember when I was in Arizona, the only time law enforcement, well, again, the Buckeye Police Department was doing anything is when I was there, personally there, and pushing them down the street. It's almost like kicking the can down the street to get them to do certain things. So now that I'm back in South Carolina, it's a stalemate. It has been very still. So again, my goal, what I have been doing is in the background is pushing, getting FOIA requests to you name it, to try to get law enforcement to do their job. We had a custody exchange of the items that I have from the crime scene with an agreement with the Buckeye Police Department, Detective Justin Adams, to perform the forensics and things I've been asking for years. I can't report to this point none of those things, as far as I know, until I get this FOIA request done to determine if they have done anything. But last I've known, with a phone call, they have not. So, but that's where we're at. Just keep pushing. Like I said, the only way, and that's with any case, the only way you can get new leads in the case is like we see what happened in the Galtry case. You have to go look for it. If law enforcement is not actually actively looking for something, they'll never find it. They'll just say, "Oh, we don't have anything. It's a cold case." But you have to go look for it. And I don't want to have to use that same analogy I use all the time when it comes to looking for things. You can technically say, especially when law enforcement went out to do a few searches, yes, I went looking for Daniel Robinson, but you didn't really look. Because if we know that if Buckeye Police Department really looked for Daniel when it's out there in that desert, they would have found the human skull that my team, my searchers had found. They would have found the 7 human remains, despite it trying to bring it down to the 7 human remains that we found out, two people out there, bring closure for their families. And that's because we were actively looking. The Buckeye Police Department didn't find their own hands in front of their faces every time they went out to a search. They couldn't even find a construction cone or a cactus or anything. So, but we found everything that was reported to the public out there. I even saw the case for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, red pickup truck they were looking for. So what I'm saying, if you're actively looking and you're really dedicated to that, and you really have a passion to do the right thing, you would have found, like I said, the human skull, or you would have found the other human remains that was out there. So again, I'm pushing them, and I have to continue to do so. And to do so, again, everything I do, and I say this a lot of times on the Instagram and TikTok and some of those things. So I think some people don't really understand what I'm saying, that everything I'm doing is for everyone else. It's not for David Robinson. It's not for some ideal that I have and just want to run for U.S. Congress. No, it's for everyone. It's for the 600,000 Americans that go missing every year. It's for my son. It's for, the names I just don't know, and I when I go say I do these things and try to do everything I can, I need the help, and it's people to kind of fill in that gap. So I do have the infrastructure there in a sense. If you look at pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, as a matter of fact, I should have shared screen, but look at pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You can see where I have the infrastructure there. The flyers, the mail-in protest, the sign the petition, those type things. And so I need help. I need help from the general public, from you guys, from the grassroots movement that we started from 2021 to continue to do that stuff. It still is urgently needed. I know it's been going on 5 years now, but it's urgent needed, because when we had let our foot off the gas again, we'll see the things that happen in Daniel's case where there's no movement from law enforcement, because again, there's no pressure on them to do the right things. There's no pressure to them to continue to do the work. And so, you guys have done that for me in those years, made things a lot easier. So it gave me the opportunity to, like I said, write Please Help Find Missing Americans Act. Take my time to do that. It gave me opportunity to run for U.S. Congress in 2024, and now I'm running again in 2026. So it gave me the cover to be able to do that, so I can do something greater towards this missing American crisis that we have in our country. So I want to say hello to everyone. Katrina, I see you right there on the Instagram side. Those who I can't put on the screen. Who is that? Gil fella. Thanks so much. It's me. Thank you so much for being here. Annabelle, thanks so much for being here. And yeah, I think that's how you said it. Henna, thanks so much for being here. Everyone that's on the Instagram side that I can't put on the screen right now, but I'm really grateful that you came in on this evening. Those who are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, thank you so much for being here. Chill Out, thank you so much for being here. Hello to you as well. Yes, I do. I do need the help. So, like I said, everybody can help me in a lot of different ways. Jamie, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Chill Out. Also, we are with you, sir, to bring Daniel home. I truly appreciate that, Jamie. And thank you so much again for being here on the Facebook side. Chill Out on the YouTube side. I truly appreciate that. And I have Teddy Johnson, thanks so much for being here. Daniel, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Daniel's so lucky to have a dad like you. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate those sentiments and those words. I really appreciate that. Holly Anderson, thanks so much for being here. I would be doing the same thing you are if my son was missing. Yes, and I have no doubt, parents, we will go. We go to the limits for our children. So no matter how old they get, they're ours. So yes, and I know you would, Holly. I know you would. Also, Villa, thank you so much for being here on Facebook side. Hope you can find Daniel. I would not stop until I do. We will get these cell phone pings that I'm still waiting to get. We will get the information that never goes away. The retention times that telecommunication claim they can't keep. We will have those too. Hello, Tracy. Thanks so much for being here. I truly appreciate you coming in. Hello, everyone. And David, thanks so much for being here. And everyone again, Katrina and everyone else on the Instagram side, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. But I want to start off really quick about a couple of cases I want to throw here and try to make sure that we are paying attention to some of these cases. I almost try to do this every time I come to live. I'm going to start putting up some flyers and things so we can talk about or just be able to help in other families' cases and things. So again, it's very important when we do so. So we have to take the opportunity and time to talk about these cases. Like Kaya here, she's been missing out of Plant City, Florida. That was on February 6th of 2020. At the time, I believe she was 33. I hope that time is right. Katrina, you can tell me if I'm right on that. And you're welcome, Katrina. Her hair is red auburn, and her height is 5'6", and she's a female, of course, with brown eyes, 170 pounds, biracial. So Katrina, she's 28 when she went missing, right, Katrina? I apologize for everyone. She's 28 when she went missing. I'm assuming Katrina, you can correct me on that as well. But she was 28 when she went missing. I'll update that flyer to match the age when she went missing. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Okay, circumstances of her disappearance on February 6, 2020, approximately 4 p.m. Kaya left the residence of Coward Road in Plant City. After dropping her boyfriend off, Kaya's car was later found approximately at 7 p.m. abandoned at East Trapnell Road, just west of Jap Tucker Road in Plant City. Her car was found unlocked and running and on the railroad tracks. You can call the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office if you have any information about Kaya. That is 2224 Falklandburg Road, North Tampa, Florida. That's 33612. Their phone number is 813-247-8200. You can see the QR code, and that will take you to Finding Kaya. That's a Facebook page from her mother, and you get a lot more information there. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Also, we have here also Mr. Alexander Kruk. Mr. Kruk, he's been missing. I'm going to get my dates right. I didn't get his date of birth, but I think he was missing. He was at 37 years old. If I have any of these things wrong, I have to do some updates. You also please forgive me on that part. But he's a white male, 6 foot, 175 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes. He's missing out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So if anyone have any information about Mr. Kruk, please, if you know about his case, you see his face there, you've seen him anywhere, please reach out into the Milwaukee Police Department. The number is 414-935-7405. Kruk was 33 at the time of his disappearance. He believed to have traveled out of state. And if I remember talking to his family members before, I think they was thinking somewhere out into New Mexico area. So, but definitely, please look out for Mr. Kruk. He's been missing for a good while now. And like I said, in my opinion, there's no real cold case status. It's just that we have to work together as a family of people to share these stories and help find the answers that we're looking for. Also, we have Mr. Zelig Williams. He's right here out of Columbia, South Carolina, where I'm from. And Mr. Williams is a Broadway dancer. He was last seen on October the 3rd, 2024, here in Columbia, South Carolina. His date of birth is September the 10th, 1996, age of 28 when he went missing. Black male, 6 foot, 150 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. Mr. Williams, his family is desperately looking for him, and trust me, his mother, his sisters, his family, they all are very much worried, but you know what? They have faith that we're going to get the answers that we're looking for. Also, the circumstance about his disappearance after Mr. Williams left his mother's home, he was seen driving in the area of the Congaree National Park in South Carolina. His abandoned car was found the next day. And, the ironically to these cases is hearing how these cars are seen abandoned, and so we know that with Daniel's car, we know that with Mr. Kruk and also with Kaya. So, it's one of those things that keep happening. Also, my son, Daniel Robinson went missing on June 23rd of 2021. My son, Daniel Robinson, is a geologist. While working out in the Sonoran Desert, he went missing after meeting someone, Ken Elliott from Weber Waterworks, out at a well site. And he was 24 years at the time, and he's 28 now. 29 now. I'm gonna get my dates right. Date of birth, January the 14th, 1997. He's a black male, 5'8", 165 pounds. At the time he went missing, black hair, brown eyes. Again, my son, I really am doing everything I can to find my son, so I need your help to continue that as well. So you can please help find Daniel. That is the QR code to get the information you need to reach out to me. Also, the Buckeye Police Department, 623-386-4421. Also, you can get me directly, 803-200-7994. Just definitely need your help. If you have any information about my son, you can call the 24-hour tip line. Live operators, 24 hours, 7 days a week, can take your call. You can remain anonymous, but if you don't have to talk to anyone, you can just text the word tip to the same number, and you can still remain anonymous if you like. That's 844-602-0660. Investigative agency, me, myself, and also the Buckeye Police Department. So thank you, everyone, for that. And lastly, we have Miss Ashley Williams. Ashley went missing out of LA. She's her parents are desperately searching for her. Ashley was last seen in the 3800 block of Crawford Street in July of 2025. I can't tell you the circumstances of Ashley's disappearance is very troubling because it was out of character for her to not talk to her father. She talked to her father literally every day, and she's always constantly keeping talk with her father and her mother. And just for her to have some circumstances surrounding her disappearance that day, it was very strange. Her parents going back and forth, flying back and forth from Georgia to try to get all the information they can about their daughter. They're very concerned about her. Like I said, again, when parents, we know when the person, the thing's out of character and people tell you these things and it has nothing to do with their child. They know exactly how their child think and things they would do. And especially with the constant communication, and she just vanished. At the time, she was 28 years old, Black female, brown eyes. She's 5'6" and 170 pounds. If you have any information, please call the Los Angeles Police Department, 1-877-527-3247. And the QR code there, it would take you to the LAPD newsroom where you can hear learn more information about Miss Williams. So thank you, everyone. And again, it's very hard. It's very hard. I'm just reading through these, but it's hard to not feel emotional about what's going on. So I just talking to the parents, and you can hear some of the same things that even myself. Let me get myself back on the screen, but you can hear things even myself that we have to go through as parents. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. So pray for the family. But I'm a person. We'll say these things like thoughts and prayers. I have a little issue with that. So we definitely need the prayers. Don't get me wrong. I'm a believer in prayer, but I also believe in action. Actions is special with our faith. If you have to have some action, it's an action word. Action means that hey, look, I'm praying for you and your family. But at the same time, I'm doing something towards helping that family. And it's simple. Sharing the story is very simple for any family. I know it helped us in Daniel's case. A lot of people across the country know about Daniel's case. A lot of people in some other countries know about Daniel's case. And that became from you all sharing his story and keeping it out there. So again, it's real important. So thank you for everyone for joining in on that. Before I go on the Q&A session, I want to run through a couple of things for families. When you have a missing loved one, you have to. It sounds, but I have this thing, the journey we walk, because it's really something that I think every family can use. When you have a missing loved one, because we just don't know. We just don't know what to do at the time when our loved ones go missing. We just don't have a clue, and so any family or anyone who have gone through the situation should be able to share their experience. This pamphlet that I created, it has a lot in it, but it still can grow. I'm still learning more and more, and I have to keep updating and add a little bit more. So, but what I do have right now is some of the things I like to share with families, because, again, you just don't have the answers that you're looking for. You just don't know what to do. And yes, I did, Katrina. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, you just don't know what to do. And it's really great if you have someone that can kind of help guide you through. So that's what this is for. The Daniel Robinson Foundation. What do you do when the loved one goes missing? A quick family guide is like I said, just a quick family guide to kind of help you along. One of the things that is easy said than done. I started off this way: stay calm and organized. It's very hard. Trust me, it's very hard to do that. So what I also often say is try to find a loved one who have that kind of strength to be able to do that, because it's very important. but definitely try to remain as calm as you can, because you can think a lot better. You get some more most effective actions. I don't know if everyone can see this, and if you can, please give me a thumbs up. I meant to ask you guys, if you can see this pretty good, you can read it, give me a thumbs up. If you can't, then I'll just go ahead and we'll go through it. And I apologize, and this time I'll try to make it a lot bigger for the screen. But let me know, give me some thumbs up if you can see, and anyone can see, and you'll kind of read a little bit, enough to go along with me as I speak about this guide. And I'll give it a moment. And Katrina, you can get this copy of it. You can download it off of the DanielRobsonFoundation.org. It's right there as a PDF. Also, I can send it to you. You can request it on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, or you can contact me. And like I said, with the phone number and the information I'll put on the screen, I will send that out to you, or you can download it. But yes, I see some thumbs up. Thank you so much, everyone. I truly appreciate that. All right. Like I said, take a deep breath. Try to remain calm as possible. Of course, we're going to do our due diligence. So things I'm saying on this part here, I'm sure everyone is common sense, and I'm sure people just do it. You're notifying your family and friends. Of course, you're checking around to see if anyone know if that person have been around, or try to get some of the ideas and try to find some of their friends as well. That will help. But also have someone who can actually take notes of everything, because when you talk to people, especially friends, those things may come handy. I'm telling you, loved ones, friends. They say you have, like Daniel's case, you have friends, and I talk to his friends. Yes, I write those things down, what other friends tell me, and keep track of those type things. A lot of times we're so frantic, we don't think about things. Like I said again, it's easier said than done, because in the spur of the moment, you're not thinking about those same things. Trust me. But reach out to keep contacts like the workplace, the schools, the places that person frequently visits, like coffee shops, or hey, they always got the coffee shop. You can go to the coffee shop and ask questions. Almost being like your own detective in some measures. And close contacts of friends, like I said. The other part is organize. Create a dedicated folder and binder, because you're going to have a lot of things you're going to have to end up putting into that folder. Trust me. So you're going to take relevant notes and documents and anything you can find, phone numbers, people you talk to, and people who ever reach out to you. Because I'll tell you, as soon as you put out there someone's missing, a lot of people will start contacting you. So those are some other areas that we could think about. Contact law enforcement as evident what you're doing next. Once you have done so and did your due diligence and confirm that your loved one is actually indeed missing. Because we know, as a family, we know when our loved one's gone missing. It's important there to understand that also there's no policy. So when you go talk to law enforcement, you say, hey, look, my loved one is missing. I need to put in a missing person report. Law enforcement should not ever tell you that you have to wait 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes or an hour or 2 days, whatever. There's no policy. And if they do say it, make sure the first thing you do is ask them for a supervisor. And then that supervisor, what is the policy surrounding putting in a missing person report? And I can almost guarantee you, and I check, at least 95 to, I'll say almost 99% of all police departments don't have a no wait policy. So if I'm offering, if the officer asks you that, please again ask for a supervisor and ask for that policy. Work closely with law enforcement, though. That's very important, because we do need law enforcement. They need all the information they can get to do their job. So it's really important to try to put out anything you can think of about your loved one that can help law enforcement along. Also, make sure, if you can, please make sure you provide them with photos, descriptions, certain things that information they need. I mean, make sure you carry a picture with you. We go talk to law enforcement. Obtain the case number, because the first thing they're going to do is give you a case number or provide or create a case number for the missing person report. So definitely get that down, because that's going to be permanent. That's going to be something that you get when you get the police records and everything else. It's going to be the same number. So definitely make sure you get those documented in your binder, your folder, so you can have that. So you can always have that as a reference point. The key question that you can ask: who should I contact for updates? Who's in charge of my loved one's case? What are the next steps in this investigation? What are you going to do? Are there any plans for searches? Has my loved one been added to the NCIC database? That's the National Crime Information Center for those who know. And things like that are very important. Have he been entered into NAMA system? And usually that comes a little later, but that's something that we will make sure that is part of your missing loved one's case. If applicable, if you have a child that's missing or an older adult is missing, you need to ask for things like the Amber Alert. I would like to see the Clear Alert. That's something that's just done in Texas right now, and I think trying to push it in Louisiana, and I'm really getting ready to gear up to push it here in South Carolina. That's for people that don't make the Silver Alert and don't make the Amber Alert. That's kind of sitting in the middle. A lot of states don't have it. I only know of 1 or 2 states that have it so far. The Silver Alert for our elderly, most vulnerable population. If you have any of those criteria, please ask them if they put that person on those alerts. How are you engaging with the public for tips and sightings? Are they in the flyers, new coverages, things like that? Because I know in Daniel's case, there was no, it almost took 2 weeks for them to even get a local. I couldn't get a local. I just had to reach out, and I had Josh Sanders and Nicole Griggs, the only 2 people that took Daniel's case at the time. And luckily, they did so because they gave us the break that we needed as a family. And every time I talk to Josh and Nicole, I'm so grateful for everything they have done in terms of that. So again, just ask all the questions you can that comes to your mind. There's a lot of different kind of questions that comes up that's pertinent to your case, to your loved one's case. So write those things down with those answers. Always have that notepad in your hand, and everything law enforcement tell you, write those down, because I promise you, you're gonna need it later. Just keep regular contact with law enforcement. Keep providing them all the information that you can. That's important. And still, you can get some updates and things like that. But it also shows that you're very invested in your loved one's case, and trust me, that gets law enforcement to keep moving. Just keep asking questions. Create a social media platform. I always say, the social media, a lot of families use their personal page. That's fine. But, it depends on how you want to do it. But I think open up a dedicated page, social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these platforms. Those are tools. Not everybody uses the same tools. Some people say, hey, I prefer TikTok and I don't do nothing else. Some might say I use Blue Sky or I use Twitter, and that's all I use. Some would use just Facebook or YouTube. So try to open all of those up, and if you can, and especially in cases where, like Daniel, I had to literally tell myself, I had to humanize my son. He's a brilliant scientist, but nobody would probably see him that way. So I had to make sure I put the best pictures I can, show who he is as a person, his accomplishments, his achievements, and things like that, humanize him. And sometimes people, when they see that, they get drawn, and then they want to draw into the case. So it helps. It helps. Helps bring attention to that loved one's case. And also it helps with later on with resources that you need when you go do searches, help people want to go out and share the story, those type things, because a lot of times, a lot of cases we already know do not get news coverage. So that's our first outlet is have our social media platform. Website is important as well. I look at website when I created, that's the first thing I did was created pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. I came up with that title, Please Help Find Daniel. So I made sure everything say, please help find Daniel. You see right here tonight, please help find Daniel Q&A. So I came with something that kind of resonate with people, and they hear it over and over again, repetitive, and that sticks in their head. So find something and start the website. And the website will help, it's to centralize everything. You have a base where everybody can go to get information and things like that. You have planned searches. Of course, you're gonna say it on like a social media, like I said, but some people are dedicated to one social media platform. But if you say website, everybody come to that website. So that's very important. That's the reason why I chose to also create a website. Share it widely, join local groups. and share your website, share your social media platform. Protect sensitive information, though. You want to protect things that that's the reason why I say again, I prefer a family to dedicate things to your loved one, create a new page, because your personal page, a lot of times, they have your friends, just your friends, and maybe family, and maybe people that you trust. But you're starting to open yourself up to public, so you have to be very careful. Create the flyers if you can. Anybody, you can do those flyers. It don't have to be as certain way I had to do when I was out, because mine didn't start off this way. Mine started off with a big giant piece of paper, and then I ended up going to one of those printing stores to get it laminated and things like that. It was huge, and then I got a little better as time go by. But get the flyers out you can. Post regular updates about the case, anything you can. You can share it with the public. Consider starting a podcast like I did. When I say, I thank Gizzle K for Grizzly True Crime, who got me started with that. But to be able to talk and engage with people and have Q&As and things, so that helps. The best time to post, of course, you have it right here. I put those things up there for you. You can leverage the newspapers and radios. I have been going to talk to those Mr. Galloway in Phoenix, Arizona. He gave me my first radio break out there in Arizona. He just went to the radio stations and told, hey, look, I have a missing loved one, and a lot of times they'll put you in their slots, and you can get your loved one out on the radio station to get a wider audience. So so those things you can look at. It's a lot here, and I might go through the whole thing tonight, because like I said, you can get these things off of Daniel Robinson foundation.org, or you can get it. Please help find Daniel. I will make sure it's on that website, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, or you can get it directly from me. I can send it to you as a PDF form. Organized search efforts, recruitments, and of course, that was one of the things that was very difficult for starters. I have never organized anything at the time. Military career, or you can call it, was helpful because I understand organization, but it was more trying to do something in a place that you don't know anyone. It was really hard. Post announcements on your family website and social media platforms. Requesting volunteers to assist you in the search. Provide clear details such as location, dates, and times of the search. Asking with any necessary equipment that you may need, or people can bring with them. People are willing to do it. Trust me, the people are willing to do it. They say, "Hey, I got a quad. Oh, I have and that's what happened. Oh, I have a drone. I have this," and they want to come out and help. So. But you have to make it clear on your website, clear on your social media platforms, what you plan to do, when you want to do it, and things like that. Engage the local communities, utilize media outreach, and collaborate with online groups, because there's a lot of groups. In Daniel's case, for instance, out there in the desert, there's a lot of people that like to go out and hiking groups, and people that they like to go out and joyride and stuff like that with the quads and things. So you reach out to certain these groups, and for them, that's what they do all the time, going out in the desert, do certain things, for instance. Then they're willing to come and help with you. But also someone to help coordinate the search, because families, we are again in a situation where we're not probably in that emotional state to be coordinate the searches itself. So you can find people. You can work with law enforcement. They can help. You can also assemble a command team for yourself, like get a search coordinator, like I said, logistic coordinator, and a medic. Some people was asking me again one time ago, why have to do so much for a search for Daniel? Because me personally, I feel that you have to have some responsibility for people who come out to help search. You make sure they're safe too. So that's important to me. You don't just say, "Hey, y'all, come follow me." You have no real plan to keep them safe as well. I want to find my son desperately, but I'm not willing to lose someone else, family member, just to try to help our family look for Daniel. That wasn't something I could do. But again, always make sure you let law enforcement know that you're planning these searches. because sometimes law enforcement they go out and search, for instance, and then you get in their way. So making sure that it's no plans and things like that. You're not hurting the investigation or hurting the search for that law enforcement will be doing. Again, plan the search, engage with family and friends, prepare the volunteers. I know in Daniels and for the searchers out there in the desert, I had safety briefings. You can go on the website right now. Please help find Daniel. I had to fix that. I went on there the other night and I was working with a team who was filming, wanted to do Daniel's story. And I went on my website, and that just reminded me. So if you go on the website right now, it's not doing what it should be doing. And they gave me something to do this weekend. I just thought about it just now, so people would know what I'll be doing tomorrow is fixing that part of the website. But the website should have been, when you go out and you can get to see the safety briefing, you go on Please Help Find Daniel, you can see the safety briefing, show you what to do in the desert. I created that through YouTube and also added a YouTube video. Tell you how to dress and, certain little things, depending on what type of search you're doing. You're out there doing water search or something different. You're doing search out like we did with Zelig Williams out in the wooded area near, a river. It's different things you wear and do. So to keep other family members safe, I think it's important that we give them the information they need to how to dress and prepare for what we're going to be doing out there. Make sure you stay hydrated, for instance, all that kind of stuff. So that's really, really important. Bring the flyers for distribution at the searches as well. People want to, after they help search, they want to also go into their communities and different places to share your loved ones' flyers. So again, other part is with those flyers is costly. Like I said, I'm going to stop here, you guys, because I want to get into the Q&A session, but I have a lot of information here, the resources here. So you can go through all of this and you can find a lot of information. But again, like I said, I'm planning to update it. I stopped because, again, I'm running for U.S. Congress in 2024, and I'm doing it right now in 2026. And it takes, running for Congress, it takes a lot of your time every day. So it was more to it than I thought it would be. Running for office, my goal was to push Daniel Robinson Law to the U.S. Congress and to keep going and also fight for my community here in my state. So I will go into the question part of Q&A, but look out for the journey here and look out for it to be updated. I'm going to work on that to get it updated, some more information I would like to put in it. And but for right now, I think it would help families who may be hearing me right now, who have a missing loved one and don't know what to do. You can go through that and it can give you some guidance. You also can go to Black and Missing Foundation. They have one. You have a few other resources and places that would have certain guides and things to help you along as well. So you can check those out. Let's see where I'm at now. And I want to go to the websites, but I will do that next time. We're just going in the Q&A session part of things. If you're on the Instagram side, I say this every time I do the lives, and I don't know why they do not in Instagram. It's crazy because Meta is Facebook, and somehow we are not able to put Instagram on the screen. I can put it on it, but it won't be the way you can actually see. Everyone can see you on the screen, so it'd be kind of something that's not worth trying. But I can't see you. If you're on Instagram, I can see you. If you have any questions, please put the word question before your question, a question mark or a big giant Q or a big giant question mark. And I'll identify your question as I come down the comment section. I can see you on the screen there. But everyone else, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, except for Instagram, I'm sorry. Everyone else, I can put you on the screen, and you probably see yourself on the screen already. And I'll come down and help answer some of those questions I see. And that's what I'll be looking at, like Zodiac here. Thanks so much for being here. Real quick, Zodiac, I'm going to pin you right here for a second, but I want to say hello to Black Sheep. Thanks so much for being here. As I have followed Daniel's case since he went missing. Do you have suggestions on how people can prevent missing person from being exploited? It's alarming how frequently it's happening. You say missing persons are being exploited. If you're talking about I'm not sure which angle you're going with that, but one thing I can say really quick, and I'm gonna get back to you, Zodiac. I got you, Mark. One thing I can say about that, when you have a missing loved one, and I tell families this too, please know that people are gonna come out of the woodwork. There'll be all kind of people. There's gonna be some that really want to help you, but there'll be a lot of them that want to exploit you. And that's what I think you're saying right now, Black Cold Case. They were trying to take every opportunity to capitalize on your pain. They know that you're most likely not thinking, and and I hate to say it this way, and I'm not saying it to demean anybody or make the thing light, but you might not be rational on everything, right? Because even when I was even being sharp, like I said, I used my military training to keep me from getting all emotional and breaking down, because that's what I was feeling when I was driving on that road. I couldn't get to Arizona fast enough. But even in that moment, even in those moments that you guys say, "Oh man, Mr. Roberts so strong" and stuff, I still had people was able to take advantage of me. $21,000 worth of damage. What I'm saying, so it can happen. It can happen. So again, yes, there's always people out there to capitalize on your pain. And so I have, when you ask that question, Black Sheep, what we do to prevent missing persons, missing Americans being exploited. And one thing is call it out. First of all, call that person out, call those people out. And if those people, if someone in the public can identify someone who done it in the past, and you see them moving towards another family that's unwilling or unknowing what's going on, let that family know. I mean, just let them know, so at least they can go out and start researching those things themselves. Because I know it would have helped me, because I went through it was so many private investigators that came my way, and I'm telling you, because of some things, one of the worst. Everybody that know me, they can tell you behind the scenes, the worst word you can say to me is pro bono. Pro bono is like cussing me out or something. I don't trust people when they come off running off and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do some pro bono." Nobody do anything for free. So be careful when people say that. I'm not saying nobody wouldn't, but 9 times out of 10 is not what free is not really free. So you have to be really careful about the word pro bono, for instance. Again, or some would take your story, your loved one's story, and to sensationalize it to get more clicks on their social media platforms or something. So you have to look out for that too. I had a person my daughter came crying to me one day about some guy was on YouTube, and he had millions of followers. But anyway, he was on this YouTube channel. He had his backdrop or whatever he got going on, like a real studio. I mean, this all papers and everything, like a news channel. And he was telling his audience how I was a government agent, and Daniel is not real. He's not a real person. And this is all about the cover up for COVID. And during the time we was just getting over the COVID pandemic. And he had this thing so convincing in the paperwork, and if I didn't know who I was, I'll be like, man, he make it sound so convincing, seem true. And so he'll tell me how my head moving this way. And so make a long story, I'm saying people capitalize, especially with social media. Some people make millions a year off of misinformation and things like that. So it was one of those things that exploiting Daniel's case, and it's hard because I did send a guy a message and told him how sick he is to try to capitalize on somebody else's pain just to get his audience like hearing things like that, conspiracies. And so it's good for him financially, but it's bad for a family who's trying to look for their loved ones. So, of course, some people say, "Oh, you could have sued him for," no, I'm busy searching for my son. And so that's more important. But the thing is, yes, you do have people that exploit missing American cases. And, a person like me, when you say that, Black Sheep, first thing I'm thinking in my mind, like I wrote with Daniel Robinson's law, trying to find ways, especially legislative ways to curb some things, just come up with new ideas and talk to some of these state legislatures and stuff, and come up with some stuff to make it a crime to do that, that type stuff. And thank you so, thanks so much for being here, Sagittarius Rising. Hi, David. Chet, you are a one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless you. All right. I want to get to the question again. If you have any questions, do like Zodiac Cancer 84. Do put the word question first with your question or question mark or capital letter Q. That'll help me when sometimes I do kind of stroll down really fast. And when I'm looking at the time and I say, hey, I've been on this Q&A too long, and I try to go to the questions and get as much of them as I can. So what can we do as a whole to put pressure on the Buckeye Police Department? Because this being long enough, it'll be 5 years this come June and no signs of Daniel. And I feel like they know something what happened. And I do too. I always have, of course, Zodiac, I'm always going to feel like, there was always been a cover up. And, we know Chief Hall, he quit, I'm sure to keep his pension or whatever he did. And also not only he quit, but also in the same time frame, Sheriff Zone, who's over the Buckeye, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, resigned as well. And he didn't finish his, he's an elected official and didn't finish his term. So, those a lot of things that was happening at the time was very troubling. We already know the Buckeye Police Department, same chief that quit was suspended before, and the other one was forced to quit, the assistant, when they were falsifying documents, when it comes to crime statistics. And he also got in some real bit trouble for having business dealings that wasn't allowed him being the chief of police. So it's a lot of things that was going on to signal that a lot of corruption and cover-ups was done. It's mainly for me, it was when my private investigator came in and found all the information he did, and he was convinced this is a stage event, the vehicle staged there, based on hard evidence. I mean, physical measurements and things that he does with the vehicle for his job. And then the Buckeye Police Department rejected his finding, waited about a month and a half, I think almost 3 months, to finally hire their own private investigator, which I thought that's a detective's job, but hired their own private investigator all he did was rebut everything my investigator found, but the crazy part was they say, oh, he's a world national expert or something to the fact. And if I was that guy, if he is one, he actually he signed his name on that BS, because this guy, it make him look bad because he haven't even touched Daniel's vehicle and made a full report. He never even seen it with his own eyes in life. And that's almost like me making a report about the birds flying in Washington, D.C. around the park. And I'm sitting right here talking to you guys right now. I have never seen it. And so, this guy was able to do that, and they put it in every police report as gospel in a sense. It's something. So it's a lot of things like that. When you say that, that's what comes to my mind, Zodiac. But yeah, to put pressure on them is to continue to do the mail-in protests. Again, what I was saying at the beginning of this is the infrastructure is there, and I tell you guys, if I have done this for, like I said, going on 5 years, Zodiac, and before I started running for office, I was doing more podcasts. I was trying to bring the awareness. I have been going back and forth to Arizona until my funding run dry, but trying to do everything I can. But I'm literally on the exhaust fumes, if you want to call it, and decided to run for U.S. Congress because I know I can make a difference and do something big for missing American cases and everything else that I care about. But the point is, I'm saying is to be able to get that help from the public. It's one thing to be able to set some things up and try to get the people. And I want to give one shout out to a young lady, but I don't know if she wants me to put her name out, but the young lady who saw the last week's podcast and was able to want to join the Daniel Robinson Foundation to help us get it off the ground. And doing the things I would like to see it do. So I really think that's an example of what I'm talking about. We need people for the Daniel Robinson Foundation to do the things I would like to see it do. I can't do it by myself, and I'm trying to do all these other things. Keep the pressure on law enforcement. I need those phone calls. I need those letters still sent. I need the mail-in protests. That's really hard, really strong. And also, of course, the awareness is going to be the flights, but to put pressure on them will be those phone calls, those letters, and it was working. It was really working. We had them scrambling like little rats running around doing stuff and trying to prove themselves, and so, like I said, it's kicking the can down the road to get law. But when I keep saying law enforcement Buckeye, and so everybody forgive me. I say this every time. The reason I laugh because I talked to law enforcement on some good ones. I know some good ones. I even met one in Indiana, Indianapolis recently, and there's some good ones out there. I'm telling you, some really good officers, some good detectives. And when I was in Arizona, say, why can't you just say the Buckeye Police Department? And so I try to not be so broad in my speaking, but it happens. So again, when I say law enforcement, I'm talking specifically in this situation about the Buckeye Police Department, so Buckeye Police Department is who I'm talking about. So, we got to put pressure on them because they would not do it. It's almost like they're Mayberry. They pretty much close. They close on the weekends. You go to their office. I had a family press conference and they was closed on Saturday. I'll say, is this Mayberry? But the thing is, or do crime stop on the weekends? I don't know. But the thing is, yes, we have to put pressure on them and have them to do the work that they should be doing. The other part is, you guys, it's not a cold case. Like I said before, Daniel case is far from a cold case. The problem I'm having right now is getting them to do the job they said they was going to do. I sat in the office with Detective Adams and his new team, and also Londale Farmer, my friend, former police officer, Chicago police officer, former NAACP president. He sat there with me and hear all these things. These people, we even did the custody exchange. I had one of the ladies off the Daniel Robinson Foundation, my treasurer, my secretary. She was with me, and we're taking the pictures. We made sure they had their body cams on. They had their body cams. We did the whole thing, and this custody exchange. Went to the painstakingly going through Daniel's things in storage to get it out of there, and things like that. So, but they didn't keep their word. They didn't keep their word to this day here, this 2026. But like I said, for me, it's a handicap because I don't have the finances to run back and forth to Arizona right now the way I like to, and put that pressure, because when I'm there in their face, oh yes, I get a lot of pressure put on them. So that's why I reach out to you guys too to help in two ways, do the GoFundMe that I have, but also to help with doing that, making those phone calls and things like that. That'll help, being there present, and also letting them know, hey, the public didn't give up on them. The father didn't give up on them, and so Daniel's case is really people are keeping an eye on it right now, and we need to have them to do the work that they said they was going to do, so you can find these leads. You ain't gonna find the leads. We seen the Guthrie case, and I'm gonna say it again. That family is getting the kind of attention, and unfortunately, they haven't found her, and that's the strangest part for me. But the thing is, but they have that kind of attention where they're actually looking. They would have not found blood, or they would not find, when Daniel's case, they had to look for blood in that case. In Daniel's case, they said, we didn't see with our eyes. There wasn't nothing they did to look for, no spraying or nothing, or light or whatever they used. No, we didn't see with our eyes, no blood, and they just pull everything off the scene, throw it, dragging on out there real hard, whatever. Detective Biffin at the time told me on a call that I recorded myself talking to him, telling me why he didn't see a reason to do any forensics or anything on the scene, and so it's that time. You're not looking for it, you're not going to find it. If I wasn't looking for Daniel as hard as we were, we wouldn't have found the other human remains out there. We wouldn't have found the things that we did. So again, we didn't look hard enough. We wouldn't have found the 11 additional miles, the 46 initial cycles, the red transfer paint, the 2 impressions on the windshield, the time of day that happened. We wouldn't have known none of that stuff if we didn't go looking for it, because damn sure the Buckeye Police Department didn't find any of that. So anytime y'all hear about that stuff on Daniel's case, came from a private investigator. They didn't look for it. They didn't look for the, they say, oh, the vehicle's going in the black box. They didn't read it. They didn't bother about really reading the black box data that he gave to my investigator. He had to read that stuff. And it wasn't the constant foot throttle on the pedal, things like that. and if anybody been in the desert, for instance, I'm using that example, that pressing that gas pedal, and we do it with desert vehicles. That terrain is so rough. Could you imagine keeping your foot on the gas pedal steady now, steady speed, and bouncing all over the place, and with that type of vehicle, you'll be bouncing all around that cab, going at that kind of speed. And first of all, it was impossible to get that speed, but that's even on a flat surface in the desert. You'll be bouncing all over the place, and trust me, in the desert vehicle, we can get thrown all over the place. So it's impossible to do all of that. But is it possible to a vehicle lying on the passenger side and cranking it up 46 times? I mean, who would be putting their foot on the brake pedal and pushing that start button 46 times trying to crank it? I mean, it doesn't even add up with science. So there's a lot of things like that. So again, let's go to the next question. Thank you so much for your questions, Zodiac. Do we have one here? Seth says, this case here, thank you, Seth, first of all, being here off the Instagram side. This case here keeps me up at night. I can't imagine what it must be like for you, his family, to contemplate. I mean, I contemplate Daniel's whereabouts all the time. Yes, and I understand that. Yes, and thank you so much. I really appreciate your prayers and your condolences and everything. Yes, it keeps me up a lot too. I have many times that I have it's been times I have to keep thinking about Daniel, and especially certain moments and days where you have to, you have opportunity to stop. A lot of times when I stay busy, it helps me. It helps me tremendously. I think I hit the button just now. It helps me a lot when I stay busy, to keep me from thinking. But we can't stay busy 24 hours, 7 days a week. So yes, it's those times that can always come back and haunt you. In those ways, just keep thinking about it. So I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna put this up. Thank you, Sue, for being here. I am at work, but sending strong prayers that Daniel is found. Thank you so much. Faith and prayers to you and your family. Thanks so much for that. I truly appreciate you. Question. I have one here from Sagittarius Rising. Thanks so much for being here. And I thought I saw you on the other side on Instagram, but on Instagram too. But thank you so much for being here on the YouTube. I really appreciate your questions. Have you had any good leads from psychic readers? No, I have not had any at all, but I can tell you when I was out there in the desert, I had, I haven't never known there was that many psychics in the world, period. But I used to get people reach out to me a lot. And we had a group that came out of somewhere in California. And I think it was a group of 5 or 6. And they asked, can they come to search? They want to come to search out of California. Of course, we need all the help we can get. But they said they wanted to kind of stay off to themselves, because they had a place they wanted to search. And so, of course, but and my search, it was kind of hard for me to agree with that, because I don't believe in, I don't want anyone to have rogue searches, in the sense I call it, because I feel responsible for everyone out there in the search. So that was kind of hard, but because they had so many, the group of people with them, they was looking out, almost like battle buddy situation to me. So, and at the same time, my investigator and his team was out there. And so what I had Mr. McGrath do at the time, his team, was to keep, monitor with them, make sure they're okay. So they was able to do that. Make a long story, we found the human remains, the ones that was really more fresher at that moment, for not to be so graphic. But so I have seen them come out and do some stuff when it comes to finding remains. And so, but to answer that question, no, I haven't, been engaging, with information from any psychic readers. All right, I have, I thought there was a question here. But thank you so much for being here, JC Adams. We have you saying good evening. So sorry I'm joining late. No, I'm glad to even have you here. The Buckeye Police Department give you information on any forensics from the Jeep. No, they have not. Only thing they have done is on the roughly July the 22nd. The vehicle showed on July the 19th. They gave the vehicle back over to me. I was wanting to pull a vehicle out there because they threatened me to get out there. If I didn't, they was going to have a total away and I'd pay the storage fee. So I'll try to find a place to put it. Ask Detective Biffin to hold it for 3 days. But it was already in the making through a Chief Anderson from the Tempe Police Department, friend of mine at the time, and he gave me access to Chief Hall at that time, and so we already had a meeting planned. He called me, and I think it was like around the 22nd, to meet with Chief Hall and his team, and also the detectives and stuff. And so in that meeting, without going through the whole entire meeting, just that portion I did ask for. I was really upset because they haven't done anything. Like I said, they say they look with their eyes, they see the blood, and I asked them how they know Daniel was driving the vehicle. Oh, is this vehicle Sergeant Hanneman, Chief? He's the detective sergeant or something. And he was driving, so it's obvious it's his vehicle. It's obvious that he was driving, like I'm a dummy or something. You don't do detective work like that. Say someone is driving because the vehicle belongs to them. That don't make sense. So I have a car right now, and I have my daughter driving or something. So But anyway, I demanded them to do. At the time, I didn't know what to ask for. I'm a novice. I'm just a family member or a father looking for my son, noticing they didn't do anything to even attempt to find anything right that could be wrong. Because I look at the scene and all I saw was foul play, just from a father's view, and knowing my son and seeing they're saying there's his clothes 3 feet away from the vehicle at the time. Those type things. So prove that to me. Prove that to me there was no foul play. Rule it out. That's what I was looking for. And they hadn't done that. So I was really upset in that meeting. I told them, hey, look, I need some fingerprints, something. I need you to fingerprint the car, Chief, all the time because of my attitude. I'm sure he agreed to hold a vehicle a little longer to do that, what you guys hear now. Oh, we swapped the steel wheel, that pattern they showed they do. We swapped the steel wheel, the shifter, and the door handle. And to this day, 2026, they have not yet compared to anything. So, so the case is, like I said, no, they haven't have any information because they haven't done anything with it. Like I said, again, even the swabbing itself, it's a lot more that need to be done. The vehicle, again, that came on on April 10th last year. The promise is to do the airbags, the clothing, because we don't recognize the clothes. They force them. No, that's Daniel's clothes. Like they telling us about our loved one. That's his clothes. We want that be verified because we don't identify it. And also, like I said, the airbags, all the airbags deployed. What happened on the passenger side? Let's swap that up. But those type things needed to be done, and it wasn't done. So they don't have anything they've done. I mean, again, like I said, it's kicking the Buckeye Police Department down the road to them just to get them to do searches, and then people pat them on the back because they got law enforcement in front of their name and say they did something. They haven't done anything. I did all the work, and Larnell Farmer, he was here right now. He'd be raising the high hill, talking about that, pleading that case because it's true. But that's where we're at on that. So thanks so much for your question. Let's see here if I have any more questions. Anybody on the hello to you too, itty bitty sand pitties rescue. I hope I said all right. I was messing up people's names and things. I apologize, you guys. Partially my glasses. I probably got a little bit of speck in my glasses or something. I have a question here from Lindsay. Thanks so much, Lindsay, for being here. Lindsay says, I haven't been able to tune into your content lately because life just got in the way. Are there any new updates on Daniel's case within the past 6 months or the year or so? No new updates other than the fact, like I told you guys earlier, about the custody exchange in Daniel's case. Getting that, a lot of promises was given to me in a meeting with the Buckeye Police Department that haven't been fulfilled to date. I do have another FOIA request And I also have one for the fire rescue and also Phoenix Police Department. Again, you guys remember that first time I put in that FOIA request for that, because and the reason why I put the FOIA request in because Ken Elliott, the guy who's seen Daniel last, said he was there after Daniel went missing. He was there for the entire time for those days that the Buckeye Police Department claimed they put a Phoenix Firebird in the air looking for Daniel, and they came to the well site looking and all this kind of stuff. And Ken, out of his own mouth, when I was writing those notes you guys see on that picture, and had two witnesses here, I mean, earshot here, what he was saying. He said there was no officer coming to the came to the well site. He didn't hear any helicopters. So I figured it was a lie. And that's when we put the FOIA request in. When I put it in, the Phoenix Fire Rescue said they didn't have no record of it. That's what they told me at first. And then when they realized, I guess, I had a case with Buckeye Police Department, they changed the story and said, well, we're still looking for it. And here it is in 2026, and they're still saying we're looking for it because it don't exist. And so I did it again to verify that before I bring some real issue with that part of it. And then the other part is with the Buckeye Police Department, I have the FOIA request in, but they have and I thought it was a 30-day thing, but they actually have a reasonable time, but it got to be reasonable. And then when they go a little further than it's reasonable, that's when I pull up some legal action on that because it's a reasonable time. And that's families should know this too. They put a FOIA request in, they have a reasonable time because a lot of times they have to redact names and stuff like that. But it can't be a string. You shouldn't be waiting like I have for over 3-4 years for a FOIA request. That's against the law. So make sure you know that stuff too. But again, no, that's not no real updates, and that hurts Daniel's case a lot of times. If you're not exhausting everything as law enforcement, you're not Buckeye Police Department, you're not exhausting everything, you have no right to say, there's no more leads to follow and things. You got to exhaust everything possible in a case, because what it does is, like I said, I've had to use the Galtre case again. What it does, it keeps the media attention. Oh, it's up because they like soap opera freaks, they want to hear the next new thing. I'm keeping this case on as long as I keep my ratings going. People want to come look at what's happening in this case. They want something they can cover, right? But once law enforcement slow down and act like this is a cold case, they go away. They look for the next new thing. It's almost like finding some new food or something. That's media. That's the news media. So again, but it's not helping that case because now it gives them the shade to slow down even farther. And that's why I say again, you guys, we have 600,000 Americans go missing. Of course, all 600,000 people can't a year. Not all 600,000 people a year can get on the news channel, I'm sure. But what I'm saying is that's when the general public come in and sharing the stories and keep that interest on these cases too. That helps because when that camera go away and all that stuff, and I said that years ago on Twitter, and you guys heard it on this first part of this live. I wrote that first year Daniel went missing because I saw it. I foresaw that before, I foresaw that when the news media go away. Daniel's case was on the national stage, and then also then it goes away. Okay, I say, hey, Mr. Robinson, I see you itty bitty Sanders. You say you have internet issues. I'm having internet trouble. I'm going to pop out and try again. Okay. I thought you were saying that is on my end. I want to make sure that everyone on Instagram can see what I'm doing here. So, but thank you so much, Lindsay, for your question. Yes, I'm going back to Arizona to force some new leads in Daniel's case, and so and once I get opportunity, I have a fundraiser deadline I have to pass here for the campaign for the end of this month, and then after that, I really am pushing to be back in Arizona in between time because I do have a primary for June 9th that's coming up, and in between time, I need to be in Arizona to push. I can't stop this pedal on the Buckeye Police Department too long, so I have to get up there to be in their face. I'm really effective when I'm in their face. That's when I was able to get those meetings. That's when I'm able to get them to do certain things, is when I'm in their face. So I don't accept no for an answer, and I'm the kind of father who's nobody's gonna mess with my family. I tell you like that. Not trying to say I'm big and bad, but I want to make sure that my son get the justice he deserves. So, and you'll know I'm out there, you guys, because I'll be hitting you up. You know I'm in Arizona, and I'll be hitting you up to back me up and back me and those kind of stuff. So, and make that noise and make these phone calls and things like that. So you know I'm back in Arizona. Also, question for Zodiac: have you ever considered involving internal affairs? I've been there. Yes, investigate the Buckeye Police Department on the disappearance of your son, Daniel, or reach out to the main FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. And that's where I need to go to the main headquarters, because the field office in Phoenix, field office is full of crap, in my opinion. Again, to even go in that department, they're like glorified police officers in a sense, because that field officer, the same one that's working the Gultry case, it depends on who you are, how you get treated. Larnell, he's a dark-skinned brother, and I'm walking in. I'm saying it this way for a reason, you guys. And I hate to try to. Some people say that you bringing race into it. No, race is a big factor in this thing a lot of times. And so I remember, just as a father, going to talk to this FBI that the Buckeye Police claimed that this agent that the Buckeye Department claimed and did this thing behind my back. They did this case briefing, and that agent said, "You, Mr. Robinson, did such a good job on your own. We don't need to come in." That's what they told me. The FBI said, right? So I don't want to bleed out about the FBI. So I went to I got in contact, found out who the agent was, and got in contact with him. Set up a meeting that I'm come up here to talk to the agent, because I want to hear what they was telling the Buckeye Police, what the Buckeye Police Department showed them, because I have done all this work for Daniel's case, and because they haven't done anything. What are they claiming they did? And so, make a long story. When I got there, that field officer, he knew it was there. You have to check into. They have a guardhouse. You check into the guardhouse, and they called the agent inside the building, and they had us wait into this little room adjacent to that. Of course, you got to get checked to make sure you got no weapons and all this stuff. So we sat there and waited in this little back room, and he came with 2 armed guards, the agent. And then when I said, "Hey, how you doing?" I reached my hand out to say, "Hey, how you doing, sir?" And he yelled at me. I know who you is, and it was real bad. The guy had a gesture, as in that day, and I'll be honest with you, that day I felt the way his body language was and the way he was attitudish and the way he was treating us, I thought we weren't going to make it out of there. They didn't even let us in the building. I thought we was going to get shot in this place, and I'll be straight up honest. That's how threatful it seemed like that. Just as a parent coming to ask questions. And so, again, yes, that's the experience I have with the FBI in the field office of the same one that's working that case in the Phoenix department. So again, so I don't have any confidence. I also work with the Justice Department. The attorney I had lunch. I went to the general's office. I mean, just everywhere, everything in Arizona, and no help. I had one told me, who was that? I think it was the general's office. Told me they don't work cases like Daniel. They only do everything I asked them what can they do, they said they don't do it. And I said, "What you do? Do you wash windows or something? I mean, what do you do?" And so it's things like that. I had roadblocks at the roadblocks when it comes to law enforcement. So maybe I was doing a good job on my own. So those are kind of things that you guys will hear about. I'm going to pretty much write about those stuff, but those experiences. But the thing is, like I said, the involving internal affairs and things like that. I couldn't even get these city councils. You guys, when I went to the Buckeye Police Department, the Buckeye City Council meeting, you should have seen them. I felt like these guys. I think it was recorded. I'm making get a video so you guys can see. When I say stone face, they were stone face. Like, you know what the hell you doing up in here, basically. Let them know. But for me, as a father who's been finding human remains and bring closure for other families, I haven't so much as from the mayor of Buckeye or the city manager or anyone to say, hey, thank you or anything, or even acknowledge that Daniel went missing. Oh, my condolences, or we sorry you're going through it. None of that kind of stuff. So it's a difference. Again, I even seen the sheriff in Pino County working the Gulfstream case crying on TV. Nobody cried for Daniel from the in Arizona. So long story short, no law enforcement. I seen Chief Hall with a smirk on his face when Sarah Seidner asked him the question. Made a statement that Daniel's father said, "Y'all don't care," and he said something to the effect that that's father's from the truth, but he had this smirk on his face, right? That's the different kind of attitude that happens. So again, I don't have that kind of confidence in those anything that come out of Arizona, but I can say yes, I agree with trying to reach out to the main one. And I did that before, and I think I don't want to get it wrong, but I was speaking to someone who was a head person. And then he had me to call back. And then when I called back, some woman answered the phone. And when I told her, hey, I want to speak to him again, whatever, she told me, you'll never speak to him again. And she was right. It never happened again. So I said, okay, great. But that's the kind of thing with Daniel's case. For whatever reason, it's like that. All right. I have Sagittarius, thanks so much for your question. Do you think the police department is racist? Could that be a reason of lack of efforts? And, I don't know. I mean, I don't know people's heart and their mind. I just know the statistics. I can go by that, what happens, but disparities and things like that. But I mean, I don't automatically say someone is racist. I just think they don't have the. I mean, it could be a little bit like they don't see the value in Daniel like that. So. But I don't know. I don't know a person's heart and their mind, so I can't speak to that necessarily. But I do know Buckeye is a sundown town. I do know that. I have those experiences, so I know that culture and the people that's around there. We have some black people that live in Buckeye too. Don't get me wrong, but that's a sundown town, and they know where you should be. You shouldn't be in Buckeye, and so we do have that culture. The further you come out of Phoenix, Phoenix is a little more liberal than coming out west and going towards LA. It's a little different kind of people hang out and going further out west. So it changes. So I don't know. I do know that in the area where Daniel went missing, there's some parts. If you guys hear me, if you look at that map when I have Sun Valley Parkway, and then we look at that sector map and was going out how far a person can walk and all the science and stuff that we're using to search. It stretches over there towards the mountains over there, the White Paint Mountains. But on that side, over that side of the road of Sun Valley Parkway, there's some areas back over there that even law enforcement don't mess with. So that's what I hear. And so some communities. So it's some things out there in Arizona that, you just don't mess with in a sense, right? So you have a lot of militias and things out there too as well. So that's the things to think about. But anyway, as in the racist part, like I said, I don't really want to call nobody racist, but sometimes the actions will say that, right? Okay, I think I don't see anybody on the Instagram side. And do we have any more questions here? If you have any questions, again, I'm scrolling down, and I'm sorry if I missed any comments, but I'm looking for any questions that may be lingering before I jump off of here. And if you have that really quick, I don't see any, but I'm probably for the next 5 minutes. If you have any questions, put the capital letter Q, the word question or something like that before your question, almost like Sagittarius did with the question marks or the word question. That'll help me identify your question, and I'll go ahead and answer that question. But in the meantime, I just want to say, thank you everyone for joining me on this live tonight. I feel, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to show you this right here. And it's going to be about politics. It's going to be a politics, and I'm hoping there's no one to get offended because I know how polarized this country is. I mean, very polarized, and it's sad. And I'll tell you like this, as a father who, it wasn't like this before 2017. It was a little different when you have talk about politics. Hey, not everybody was one party or the other, but we all knew that whoever got that seat, we live under that seat. We didn't worry about certain things. We might not like the policies and all that, but nobody was enemies. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody's enemies. Nobody say I didn't never heard a Democrat, for instance, or a Republican saying that somehow that person's evil and this person's this. I don't remember ever doing that kind of stuff. But growing up in my life, but anyway, hearing those kind of stuff. So I heard people don't understand with me. I've been out here for 4 years, going on 5 years, doing everything. And when I say I took a loss, I took a real loss, like really. And I'm not complaining because I do this over and over again for my children. I don't care. What I'm saying is I took a loss. I could easily, as a retired military man, just walk away, grieve my son, and try to go somewhere and get my mind right, because it was always painful. Like someone just spoke about earlier, painful to have a missing loved one. It's always pain. It's a constant thing because you don't have any answers, and it just wrecks your brain. You know, hey, I don't know my loved one alive, and you get offended when somebody say something that would insinuate that your loved one is not here any longer, because that kind of destroys your hope in a sense. So it's easy for me to just walk away, but I care, and it's hard to walk away for something that you care. When I say care, I'm not talking about just my son. I care about the statistics, the people who's involved with that statistics, 600,000 to 3,000 a day to 2,000 children. What can I do as a father, as a man, as a person in this community to help someone, right? So when I hear people say, "Oh, Mr. Robbins, you're a good dad and stuff," and I say, yeah, I think any parent would do what I do. At least I hope so. And so I don't see it as a big, pat on the back, some kind of reward type thing. So it's like, this is what parents do, right? In my opinion. And so, but when it comes to, like I said, not walking away and fighting for everyone that you can with nothing, I mean, literally like almost with nothing, and you still keep pushing to try to help everybody that you can, that's what I'm doing. And then when I have to hear that someone, I sat down and I taught myself how to write a bill, write some legislation in the midst of all of this right here. In my quiet time, I'm sitting there reading, trying to figure out how to come up with a solution to one problem that's going to help me get this stuff from my son and help me get something for other families who go through the same. I talked to the family the other day, Miss Williams, I want to put their name, but Miss Ashley Williams' family. And I'm telling you something, they were saying the exact same thing about these cell phone pings, right? And I was like, when I was listening to them, I was like, you know what? I said, I told them about that bill. I wrote Daniel Robinson law. I bust my brain to try to figure this out, how we can get around this thing. And so I was able to do that. I was able to do it. I wrote it for a federal law. When I was in that telecommunication company, you guys heard me say this all the time. I told them to come through their back door. Back door mean I'm running for U.S. Congress, and I did in 2024. I lost that election. I had that bill with me, and then say I'm going to take that to Washington because I want to do something about the 600,000 Americans. The same people that's on this feed right now that care about missing Americans, right? But then when someone say, "Are you a Democrat or Republican?" and then you say that they turn it back, say, "Now you're the devil. You're not a good father anymore." Do that make any sense, right? And so what I'm saying is that's really hurtful because it hinders progress. It hinders help. It hinders. And how can people, we turn to something that says, because you label yourself with something, you're not a good person or something. I don't believe that. I don't believe that in one stretch, right? Everybody have a capacity to do great things and stuff like that. So make a long story, that's the roadblocks I've been finding, and it's very difficult to deal with your own pain, and then have to deal with what I like to say stupidity like that, right? And so I share that with you guys because I tell you what I'm doing is not easy. I have two other guys that is just I found out today that's running against me, and so for a person like me that don't have the funds the way they do, they're doctors and lawyers and all this kind of stuff going on. So they have their big network of people who can just throw all this money, and some of them probably take PAC money and things like that, which I don't. And so they challenging me, and the only way I see it is is making it harder for me to take this bill to where I wanted to go. Right. So it looks that way for me. The other part is, again, it's easier to almost like just walk away and just have a peace of mind or something, or try to have a peace of mind, but I can't because I actually care. I think people don't really get it. You actually have people that really care, but the crazy part is the ones that actually care always get stumped down. And the ones who in it for their portfolio, make their law firm look good, or or whatever reason they say they talk these great things and what they really want to do for people. But then when they get in office, they're not doing a thing for people. So the point is, I'm saying is, I'm not saying I can't read other people's mind, but I'm saying we see it all the time. But I know what I'm in this thing for. I know what everything I talk to you guys for every week. Anytime I get a chance to talk to everyone, I try to be sincere as possible. I put up GoFundMe's because I actually really need it. Y'all don't really know the battle in my brain every time I have to try to do updates and stuff like that. And I know people say, some people, it's another thing. I had to do a live the other, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I had to put up receipts, receipts from 2021, and I'm going through my files and try to find stuff so people get an idea of how you can come up to like the GoFundMe, 400 and some $1,000. That's since 2021. GoFundMe don't do a countdown as you use it and take away or something. It keep the numbers going to stay there on that screen, as you donate, it goes up until you reach this goal. But it's been over almost 5 years, right? And it wasn't just the GoFundMe that I was using. I was using my own money as well. And that's the reason I say I end up in the situation I am, with little to nothing and still fighting for everyone. And so it's really hard. So I'm here not complaining, like I said, not complaining, not trying to, get some sympathy. But what I'm saying is I'm just telling you the reality of what I'm trying to do. So when people ask questions and say things, I hope they know what they're talking about. I hope they know what they're talking about because, it's not easy. I think if somebody would put themselves in my shoes and been in my shoes, I wonder if they would actually just walk away. Would you just walk away? Because like I said, again, it's an easier route to just walk away. So, but I just can't. I can't because I have a lot of reasons to do what I'm doing. And the main reason for my son, he's my number one priority, first of all. And again, I have a heart. If you guys was in that desert with me and you talked to families who, I know Katrina, she was on the Instagrams a while ago. You talk to families who have missing loved ones, and you have to look in their eyes and you have to hear what they have to say. And you hear the same stuff that you had to go through in the desert. And it was painful, right? With dealing with law enforcement and dealing with these people and all kind of stuff. People use you and taking advantage and all this kind of stuff. After all of that, and you don't have a heart to try to do what you can to help other people. I watch people like Katrina Overstreet, who have her sister Kaya that I was talking about missing. People don't know, but these people like that being out there hustling to bring work together and try to bring some light into family cases and stuff there. I mean, she works hard, got a regular job and doing all this other stuff. So I know people like that. I know people. I'm not the only one. I know people who does this kind of stuff, and they really just do great stuff. I'll be honest with you. But it takes that. It takes people like us to keep pushing when we ain't got nothing else left. Just keep pushing. And so that's where we're at right now. But that's why I think it's really important for everyone to support people as much as you can. I mean, it may sound like, I know it's easier for us to get a side eye about things. Things that are a lot of bad stuff is happening in this country. So it's easier to think the negative before the positive. And that is our culture. That's what we are. We'll cling on to something negative a lot of times than we would on the positive side. Hey, to see the good into what people are trying to do. So just watch. I mean, like I tell people anything, just watch and say, you choose it. You can see what people are doing, what they're trying, if they're really sincere, if they're really trying their best to help, or if they just, again, like I said, I've watched it. I've been in politics now. I'm learning some stuff I had never thought I would know. I didn't think it was going to be this much, but I see things that I turn away from because it, to me, I really I really don't understand, because I say like this: if you tell somebody something and you don't believe it yourself, then why are you doing it, right? Or you tell people certain things, and people like me actually believe you, and then turn out you trying to be a fraud or something with them, or you trying to look out for yourself somehow. I it's a problem for me. So anyway, enough of that, because that's like getting on some soapbox in a sense, and I'm not trying to even do that. I'm just trying to help people understand that I don't get to come on here as much as I do. So when I do, I try to talk about things like this. I don't get to come and talk, and I guess kind of therapeutic for me as well to kind of express some of those things out. But definitely want to say thank you all for joining me on this live stream tonight. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your support and the help that you guys have been doing over the years to get my son's story out there, because I do need to find my son. And like I said, everything I do it for him. I do it for you guys, and I'll just continue on until I can't no more. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, take care of yourselves. And I didn't see any more questions, so I think I'm done here. I don't see any more questions. I don't want to miss anybody, but checking the comment section one last time. Instagram, I don't see anything there. YouTube, Facebook, okay. I think that's it. But I'll try to get. Oh yeah, one last thing. Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 5:30 p.m. if you're out on the West in Arizona. I try to be on here on lives on Fridays, because I do a virtual virtual town hall I do every Fridays for the political stuff. So after I do that, it's at 6 o'clock. I'm at Eastern Time. After I do that, then I try to, if I feel up to it, because sometimes it's a little rough day. If I have a long day and I'm just tired, that's why you see me. I don't really do the lives like I want to for Daniel stuff. It's because I end up really tired. But I try my best to do it like 8:30 p.m. on Fridays. After I do that town hall, try to do it 8:30 p.m. That's Eastern Time. So again, that's 5:30 if you're in Arizona. This time of the year is 5:30, and also in California 5:30. And so if you want to join in with me on the next week, I would love to answer some of your questions. I will share some more missing American cases, flyers, and one other thing I will do. I want to go over the website. I want to do that tonight. I'm tired now, but I wanted to go over the website, both of them, and hopefully you guys can, again, help me out. That's what I'm looking for. So just want to make sure that. Oh, and one thing, I want to do this real quick, because I do want to do this real quick so you guys can see this, and I'm proud of this. I heard I was talking to a guy who's running against me today. I'll put this on the screen real quick before I jump off. I hope it. Oh, I froze up. I think I froze up, but it may not work for me. Let's see. Yes, I stop it. Okay. If y'all can hear me, I apologize. I froze up when I went to go try to share screen. But next week, I'm going to try and show you. But anyway, I can just tell you. I have the Daniel Robinson Law. Daniel Robinson Law. If you can hear me, please put a thumbs up, because I my screen's froze up. Daniel Robinson's Law, and that's what I was saying. Again, it's running through the state legislature here in South Carolina. I know they will be asking families to come in and testify. I did ask a few families who have missing loved ones to join me when that time comes. So I need as many people as I can. What I'm going to do is put it on the website where everyone can write letters, or I'm going to try to find a way that you can do a small video if you can't make it to South Carolina for this But I'm trying to get as many people as possible to testify how this bill will help your family, right? And because again, we need all the support we can for this, and I say it like this. I'm telling you the crazy part about this whole thing. Again, if y'all have an issue with me, please let me know in the chats. I'm just gonna keep talking because I can't see myself moving. But what I would say is pushing into Arizona is having a roadblock because, like I said, R is an issue, right? For some people, and I don't understand why, but for some people, they will actually hinder a progress that can help millions of people because they want to be partisan or something. So we need families to stand up together, and it's not about parties and things like that. It's about trying to get help for these families, help for my family, and try to get this law passed. So, and South Carolina is not the only one. Like I say, Arizona, Louisiana, but definitely when I get to Congress, try to get it on a federal level. We really do everything I can to make that happen. And so, again, that's where we need to be at right now. So, anyway, have a good night, everyone. I thank you so much for your time again. And I don't know if everyone can hear me still because everything looked frozen to me. But I hope you have a wonderful night. And I apologize if you did get frozen and you didn't hear everything I was saying. But we will talk soon. And I'll see you all next week. And let's see, I think that's it. But take care of yourselves. God bless.